So the requirement is like this. You have a speech signal, right, like what I am talking through this mic, and if I have a background noise, right, that is also getting added with this signal, and you are given the additive signal, right, signal plus that noise, and your requirement is to get back or estimate the signal back. So that is a requirement. That what we are going to do is we are going to do this one using filter. We already discussed this one actually. We know that estimation, right, MMSE, MMAE, map, all those things we already know, right? So the another approach for this one is using that filter. You have a signal plus noise which is given as an input to this linear filter, and the filter is going to estimate the signal back, right? So the filter acts as a estimator, right? So that is what we are going to discuss today. This is the case, right? You have Xn and you have the noise Wn. They are independent, Xn and Wn, and we assume that this noise is white with variance sigma W square. The spectral density is flat. That's the meaning of it, right? That is that white here, and you have a signal Xn, and this is Yn given as an input to this filter to get this estimation Xn cap. So initially we choose the filter coefficients, right? It is the FIR filter having n coefficients, right? And the requirement is to find out this filter. This filter is not like the classical filter like low pass, high pass, band pass, like that, right? So because we don't know. In fact, the noise what we have here is white, which is the spectral density is flat, means it has all the frequency. It is like that. So now what to do? We start with right. Finding out this error signal Xn minus Xn cap. Xn cap is the estimated one, right? And we have this Xn. So this error En that you are trying to minimize. It means that you have this expectation of Xn minus Xn cap, right? This you like to what? Minimize. Okay. So let us consider this is a real signal. So I just take Xn minus Xn cap as like this, and the filter, let us have that filter as n coefficients, so Hk and Yn minus k, right? Xn minus sigma k equal to 0 to n minus 1 Hk, Yn minus k, because Yn is given as an input to this, right? So now I am going to differentiate with respect to Hr. So what is that you get? So expectation of Xn 0 to n minus 1 Hk Yn minus k 2 times and we have to look for the coefficient of HR. So that is nothing but minus yn minus r, and you know already this, right, x1, x2, x3 and y1, y2, y3, they are all actually the random variables obtained from the corresponding random process. I hope this is known to you, right? We already discussed the relationship between the input random process and the output random process, right? So now we are again, we assume that whatever the random process we consider is Whiteson stationary random process, WSS. It means that here if I equate this one to 0, you get this gamma xy of, it depends on only what? Difference in the time instant, right? So it is n minus r, which is r here, minus sigma k equal to 0 to n minus 1 hk, and this is gamma y of n minus k minus n plus r, right? So it is going to be what? R minus k, which is equal to 0. So you get this k equal to 0 to n minus 1 hk gamma y of r minus k, which is gamma xy of r, and this r takes that value up to what? Minus 1, because I have to differentiate this one with respect to what? H naught equal to 0, H1 and then equal to 0, H2 and so on. I can do it up to what? H subscript capital N minus 1. Up to this we differentiate and we get set of equations, and then we arrange them in the matrix form for solving this H, right? So time being, let us consider n equal to 3, or 3 coefficients I consider. So we have this H0 and H1 and H2, they are all the coefficient. I can write this one in the matrix form. Right? So what is that expression you get here? So this one, gamma y of r minus k, right? So in the right hand side, let me write directly this one as gamma xy of 0, gamma xy of 1 and gamma xy of 2. Left side it is gamma y, right? In the first case, when r is 0, it is 0 minus k, right? K is ranging from 0 to n minus 1. So gamma y of 0, right? R is 0, right? Minus k, it is 0 here. And then what? K equal to 1, it becomes what? Gamma y of minus 1 and then gamma y of minus 2. So you get here like this, gamma y of 0, of minus 1, minus 2. So when you do it for the next, right, when r is equal to 1, this is 1 minus k, right? So initially this k value is 0, so it means that gamma y of 1, right? And then you get gamma y of 0 and then gamma y of minus 1. And finally you get this gamma y of 2, gamma y of 1 and then gamma y of 0, right? So this is the matrix what we get, and if you are solving this matrix you get the filter coefficient. So to find out this filter coefficient you must know the characteristics of what? The random process, this input xn, because you see that is there in that expression gamma xy. And you must know what is the characteristics of what? Y also, right? The autocorrelation of y is also needed. Got it? So now what is gamma y of k in general? We'll write that also. Gamma y of k is basically expectation of yn plus k yn. So this one, so in place of yn, let me write it as xn plus k, plus Wn plus k into xn plus Wn here. So if I expand this, you get 4 terms. One is x with x, x with w, w with x, and w with w. When you see that first term, it is going to be what? Gamma x of k. The last term, it is gamma w of k. It is fine. But when you choose this gamma xn plus k wn, right? So you are writing like this: xn plus k, wn is one term, and you have this wn plus k, xn is another term. And remember that these are random variables, that don't forget, right? So, and also they are independent. So I can write this one what? Expectation of n plus k into expectation of wn, and expectation of wn, right? If I am assuming it as 0, so these are all the assumptions what I am doing it for the noise, right? One is white and mean is also 0. If that is the case, this gets, the value is 0 here, 0 here, right? So it is simply this gamma y of k is gamma x of k plus gamma w of k. I can simply substitute wherever I see gamma y, I simply substitute what? Gamma x of k and gamma w of k. But we know gamma w of k is white, what we are considering. It means that gamma w of k takes the value only for what? K equal to 0. For all other values of k, the value is going to be what? Simply 0. So in that case, right? So I replace this one with simply x. These things can be replaced with x. Because except the diagonal you have what? Gamma y of 0. Gamma y of 0 is gamma x of 0 plus gamma w of 0. Gamma w of 0 you have value for it, right? So only for the diagonal element you get this as got gamma x of 0 plus gamma w of 0. I can replace like this. And coming to this right hand side, gamma xy of k. So if I write like this, gamma xy of k, which is expectation of xn plus k yn. This and further I can write it like this: xn plus k. In place of yn, I can write it as what? Simply xn plus wn here. This implies we have two terms in this. The first term is gamma x of k. The second term, as usual, x and w we treat it as independent, and expectation of wn is chosen as what? 0. So the second term is actually becoming 0. So which is basically expectation of n plus k wn, that is actually becoming 0. So in the right hand side, so in place of this gamma xy of k, I simply replace it what? X itself. This one with x, this one with x, this one with x. As simple as that, right? But what is more important here to observe is we need to know the autocorrelation function of x, right? And the average noise power of this noise, whatever we have considered here as the noise Wn. Once we know the average noise power and this autocorrelation function of x, then you are through. We can find out that filter coefficient. So if I have a signal plus noise, right, the background noise if I am having, I can use this filter to remove that, to suppress that noise. The quality of suppression or to see how much noise has suppressed, if I want to know about it, it is actually given by what? This error. right? Xn minus Xn cap, the matrix square. This is minimum mean square error, MMSE, right? We call it as MMSE because we are trying to minimize that. That is the best, the best choice of H that minimizes this factor. That is what we actually found, right? So if I want to find out this figure, is very simple, right? See, this one is expectation of Xn minus, I write that expression k equal to 0 to n minus 1 hk yn minus k. The whole thing gets multiplied with what? Again the same, n minus 1 hk yn minus k. Now again, if you closely see this, the terms, this is the error vector. When it is getting multiplied with the xn, we get the expression. But this one, when it gets multiplied with what? Your hk, the second term. So we already know that, you see that this is when it is multiplied with y and take the expectation, that is becoming what? 0. Means we are making them 0. That is the requirement. Only by making it as 0, we got this expression. It means that what is a simplified version of writing this expression? Hk is constant. It just like that you expand it. What is it you get? H naught yn minus h1 yn minus 1 h2 yn minus 2 and so on, right? See, this whole term getting multiplied with constant, h is constant, you have a random variable what? Yn. The whole term getting multiplied with yn and take the expectation, that is going to be what? 0. For every values of r it is true. Either it is going to be yn or yn minus 1, yn minus 2, whatever you consider here. The second term, when I take this expectation, it is going to become what? 0. So straight away what I do is, I just remove the second term here. I have only that first term, right? So if I simplify this, you get as gamma x of 0 minus sigma k equal to 0 to n minus 1 hk gamma what? Yx of n minus k minus n, which is what? Minus k, isn't it? Xn, it is gamma x of 0, and yn minus k, xn, it is gamma yx of n minus k minus n, it is nothing but your minus k. I hope this is clear, right? Right? So this is the error I am talking about. This is the error. This is the minimum error what we can achieve. We can see to it. This expression is actually needed to check what is that order of the filter I have to choose. I said n, we can use n coefficients. Here I have given 3 coefficients for understanding, right, this matrix, right? But in reality this matrix size is going to be in hundreds, 101, right? It's a FIR filter. It's quite heavy, right? So that is actually decided by this figure, MMSE, right? The requirement, whether it is 0.1 or 0.2 or 0.01, what is fine for you, right? You have to choose this filter coefficients, order of the filter coefficients, right? So that is all okay. See, we got a way to find out the filter coefficient that suppresses this noise, that is fine. But how to get gamma x of k? That is the question, right? So because we had an expression here with gamma x of k and gamma w of k. Gamma w of k is fine, it is a white noise. For that what we need is only the variance of that noise that we can estimate. The noise variance needs to be estimated, is okay, sigma w squared is fine. But how to get this gamma x of k? Right? So this actually we have to get it by modeling how that xn is getting generated, from that noise. This is what we call as parametric approach. You are doing some model over generation of this signal from that noise. I don't know whether I told it earlier or not, the speech signal, what is coming out of this mouth and, right, nose, that actually describes this sound. The source is basically noise, what is coming out, of the lungs, passes through the vocal tract and coming out of mouth and nose. We are actually changing the path where that sound waves are, with that noise basically, right, coming out of that. That is a filter. If I have a proper filter and the input as a noise, we can produce what? A signal. It is not only for the speech. Speech we are able to understand with some, example, like in an intuitive way to understand, yes, noise is able to produce the signal. But it is a more common technique to model the signal, is what is called as parametric approach of modeling the signal. Input is a noise and output as a signal, speech signal. Right? I am telling this one because first you need to model the signal xn, right? So that is needed here. What I am telling is this: the input is the noise, right? I don't want to use W, let me use Vn, and this is the filter here, and output is going to be what? The signal xn, and this is different noise, right? This is purposefully you are modeling them. This is different. This Wn is the noise what you are having in nature, right? So I mean the problem statement. This noise is not in your control. This noise information you are going to fix. The variance of this noise needs to be identified. Again we need to have the order of this filter. This is again going to be what? The FIR filter. You have a choice in fact, right? The filter can be all pole and it can be all zero, and it can have both poles as well as zero. So it depends upon the type of filter what you choose here. We call that as three different model. One is AR model and MA, and another one is what? AR MA. AR means autoregressive model, MA means what? Moving average, and ARMA is autoregressive moving average, right? If it is all pole, it is AR. If it is only zeros, MA, moving average. And if I have both zeros as well as poles, is what we call it as ARMA. We have the model. Depends upon how we choose this filter for this protection of the signal. We have these three different model, right? One simple model what I am going to give you here is this xn is like Vn plus, because we have this Vn as the input, right? Then you can have it as like a delay, for example 0.6 or some alpha times xn minus 1. So what is that filter for this? I already told that you cannot actually take that Z transform or Fourier transform for the random process, but for the typical input and output, right? If I am replacing this one with x of n, there is a difference between this and that. If I write like this, it is different. Here what I am talking is about a typical input. One particular input I am giving and we get a particular output. But when I write it as a subscript, it is no more deterministic. It is what we call as random. I am talking about the random process. That is a major difference. When I write like this, I am talking about a signal, a typical signal, one particular deterministic signal. For this I can take Z transform. For this I cannot take. So for this, you have to find out this autocorrelation, and then you can take what? Z transform to get a what? The spectral density in Z domain. It is a discrete case. That's what I am talking about, the Z domain, right? We already know we can take what? Fourier transform for the autocorrelation. Strictly speaking, discrete time Fourier transform for the discrete case, right? We can even take Z transform. The same thing, whatever holds true, for the deterministic signal, we can apply it for the autocorrelation, because once we compute autocorrelation, that becomes a deterministic signal. Autocorrelation is the deterministic one. The random process is not deterministic. That we cannot take what? The Z transform. Right? I am telling this one because I can take Z transformation for this, so that we get like this, the expression, right? So this is 1 minus alpha Z inverse, that is V of Z here. So implies X of Z by V of Z is 1 by 1 minus alpha Z inverse, right? This is that pole, having that poles, all pole model, AR modeling, right? So this coefficient also can be estimated again using this, the similar method what we did here, by minimizing this error. Minimizing which error? Minimizing this variance. Minimizing that variance, right? We try to find out what is that? The filter coefficient to get this Xn, right? Because you see here, this is the expression you are having, Xn minus alpha times Xn minus 1, right? I just write it here. In the previous example, we had something called Xn and we had Xn cap, so we tried to minimize that. And here the idea is we are treating, the terms here, right? So this one, alpha Xn minus 1, and of course if you want we can include one more, right? Alpha 2 Xn minus 2, right? You can have number of taps. And this one, if I bring it to the left, you get like this, Xn minus alpha 1 Xn minus 1 minus alpha 2 Xn minus 2, that is Vn here. This one, this figure minus, or take it as minus common, then you get alpha 1 Xn minus 1 plus alpha 2 Xn minus 2. That we are viewing it as Xn cap. It is like predicting. It is a prediction. So this one I am calling it as Xn minus Xn cap. Xn cap is basically predicting Xn with the past samples. Means I have Xn minus 1 and Xn minus 2 which generates Xn. So that is what that model what we are creating, right? Xn minus 1 and Xn minus 2 predicts Xn. With two samples it gives me that next sample, and this two sample gives me the next sample, and this two sample it gives me the next sample. That is what you are able to generate the signal. because that is what we need. No, initially we give only that the noise Vn, white noise we give as an input, but we are getting a speech signal. Understand that? No, so this is just the noise here. What we give here is a random noise, but here you get some signal, a proper signal you get. Right? So what it means? It means that you are actually predicting the xn minus 1, xn minus 2 is predicting what? Xn. Like that, because that is going to be your error. Vn is there. Is a noise here. I try to minimize this error, Vn. So here, for finding out this coefficient, we try to minimize this error, squared error as usual. So you get this xn minus alpha 1, xn minus 1, alpha 2, xn minus 2, the whole square. This needs to be minimized. As usual, you differentiate this one with respect to alpha 1 equal to 0. So you get expectation of 2 times xn minus alpha 1, xn minus 1 minus alpha 2, xn minus 2, and coefficient of alpha 1 is going to be what? Minus xn minus 1. This is equal to 0, and we have that another term 2 times xn minus alpha 1, xn minus 1, xn minus 2, and coefficient of alpha 2, which is minus xn minus 2, that is equal to 0. Right? So we write it in matrix form here. So we need these filter coefficients alpha 1, alpha 2. Right? So right hand side, what is it you get? Gamma x of n minus 1, which is gamma x of 1. So that is what you have here. And here subscript n is there, and here it is n minus 2. So gamma x of n minus 2, it is gamma x of 2. So that we get here, and that is equal to what? Gamma xn minus 1, gamma xn minus 1. So that is going to be gamma x of 0, and xn minus 2, n minus 1, it is gamma x of what? N minus 2 minus n plus 1. So it is minus 1, and here you get gamma x of, this is n minus 1, this is n minus 2, you get gamma x of 1, and this is going to be 0. You can choose more number also. It is not just alpha 1 and alpha 2. You can have more than that. Alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, 13 order. For speech signal, we use 13 filter coefficients. AR modeling. This is called AR modeling. What we are discussing is called AR modeling. This is otherwise called linear predictive coefficients. And these values, this alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, and so on, they are what we call as linear predictive coefficients. The reason is these coefficients are useful for predicting the future, all the way from xn minus 1, xn minus 2, and so on, the past. Right? Here it is 2, right? N minus 1 and n minus 2 predicts what? The future, which is xn. So this is otherwise called LPC, linear predictive coefficients, and that is not that main goal. Main goal is different. Main goal is to suppress this noise. Now I am just summarizing what we do. So if you are given some signal, which is maybe in the bus you are talking and background noise is there, engine noise, major contribution. We have other noises also, right? So if I want to suppress that engine noise, you can do this experiment. But what is more important is you have to first of all know what is the variance of that noise, that we can estimate. One major assumption is that noise what we get from the engine or whatever the noise you want to suppress is assumed as white, and we got that noise as white, and we found that variance, job over. Then what you have to do is you have to find out the characteristics of the signal what you want to have, like the person who is talking. that speech signal, right? You need a characteristics of that. Characteristics means we need to know its autocorrelation, right? So you need to know that signal, that speech signal, right? Without any noise, you need to have some record, right? And you need to find out this alpha 1 and alpha 2, 13 coefficients or whatever it is, not just 2, right? 13 coefficients. This is needed. For finding out that, right? For finding out these coefficients, we need again what? This autocorrelation. You see that. For solving this itself, we need this from the signal. Is it not? Anyhow, finally we need this autocorrelation of this x. There comes you the property of ergodic. Now I am introducing the another characteristics of random process, which we call it as ergodic. Ergodic process. What does it mean? Right? So I will use here itself. Okay, so we have the outcome of the experiment is mapped to the function of time, as we already know that, right? So you have this different outcomes like this. So this is one, and we have the another speech signal like this, and then we have another signal like this. So there all the outcomes of the experiment is mapped to the function of time, right? So what you do now is you tap across one process, across the process at some time t1, and you get what? The random variable, which is basically xt1. The moment you get this random variable, what does it mean? You have its density function, you have the distribution function, we can find out the mean. The mean, how you compute? Basically, if I want to find out this mean expectation, what is that you have to do? You are actually doing this. This is the way to compute this mean. Expectation of xt1, this is the way. Means you need to know about this density function to find out this mean. Even if you go for variance or tapping 2 points, and if you want to find out what, right, correlation, everything we need to know about the density functions. But now that's what I am telling. So that is not known to us. We have only the speech signals, right? There is a special case of random process or class of random process, which we call it as ergodic random process, in which whatever you compute, the mean, for example, this case across the process, if it happens to be the same as that of along the process, you take only one outcome. This outcome you take, and I can find out what is the mean of it. If I want to find out the mean along the process, it is actually about the time. It is giving me that, for example, minus t to plus t, and you are taking this average, right? You have a typical signal xt, and this is giving the mean. Just like the deterministic. Take the integral, of course this limit t tends to infinity, that I put it as here, more general, right? So whatever you compute along the process, if it happens to be the same as that of what you compute across the process, if this two mean happens to be the same, is what we call it as the process is ergodic in mean. In the same way, I can find out the autocorrelation. Along the process, how will you find out autocorrelation? We know that, right? So, autocorrelation, if I want to find the same formula, I mean almost the same expression we are going to use here, except that we use two signal here. One is what? X of t plus tau. I put it as tau here. If you want that output to be that function of t here, this is d tau. X of tau, x of t plus tau, d tau. Integral minus t to plus t, 1 by 2t, limit t tends to infinity. This is actually the autocorrelation of the deterministic signal, how we normally compute for the deterministic signal. That's what I have given, right? You have taken only one outcome of the random process, and if I compute the autocorrelation along the process, if this happens to be same as that of, right? For example, I'll take one more tap here, which is t1 plus tau, and this is t1 plus tau here, and if I find out this autocorrelation, this is the proper way, along the process. So this is the autocorrelation what we compute, or x of tau. And if these two are equal, right? So in fact, if I want to be written in terms of function of tau here, I can put this as t, right? And this is dt to get it as a function of tau, right? So if I want to have like this, but now it is a function of t because I used tau here. Okay, so you can change it if you want. In place of tau, you replace it t, dt you can put, so that it is a function of tau, because here I have written this one in the function of what? Tau. Both are identical. If it is the case, then the random process is said to be ergodic in autocorrelation. Like that, that is the random process. Why I am telling this one? Because you are given only one outcome of the speech signal. You record the speech signal. You can compute the autocorrelation along the process, estimate it, find out this autocorrelation, and those autocorrelation you use it for finding out the coefficients alpha 1, alpha 2 and so on. Once you know that, then you have this xn is modeled in that form, right? Then we know how this yn is related with what? Xn and wn. Then the whole story we can completely write the expression in that form, right? This is the way how we can do. You model the speech production, get the filter coefficient, represent this xn as what? Alpha 1 xn minus 1 plus what? Alpha 2 xn minus 2 plus vn. That is very important, right? I think I used minus, right? Is it minus or plus? Plus only, right? Okay. Vn plus or minus? Plus, right? So this is the same thing. So this is what I used. So you can model them. It is not just two coefficient, alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 up to alpha 13. You can use it. Once this is known, xn is known, wn characteristics is known. In fact, you know the characteristics of vn also. Sigma v square is known to you. This is a natural noise, right? I mean, which you want to suppress, but this is a noise for the model. Don't get confused with that, right? So this is the model is the noise what we are having this model, and then you have this yn, and then we can find out this filter coefficients using that matrix. For filling up this matrix, you can use this in terms of what alphas. I can write the result. Okay, and finally finally if I want to know about this alpha 1 and alpha 2, anyhow we have to assume that it is going to be ergodic to find out what the autocorrelation, because even for finding out these coefficients alpha 1 and alpha 2 also need what this autocorrelation, isn't it? So that needs to be identified. So we have to assume that it is ergodic also. We compute that, and finally we can solve for the filter coefficients, right? There is a small difference, right? What actually I gave the expression, the final expression in terms of gamma x, right? Except the diagonal elements are what? Gamma x plus gamma w, right? And the right hand side it is gamma x only. Either you can even replace those autocorrelation with the actually computed autocorrelation, assuming that it is ergodic, and directly you can solve H also. That is also possible. That is also possible, I am telling, right? That is also possible. Or you can even go for this modeling, this xn, speech production model xn. From that also you can solve, right? So two ways are there. Now quickly we are going to discuss about that So let me choose some example and we'll have some understanding of so let us take only one coefficient. We'll see how this is happening. So this is what I am talking about, this Vn plus alpha 1 xn minus 1 plus alpha 2 xn minus 2, right? Isn't it? And in that expression what we, right, for solving this H, the filter coefficients, we use this yn. Yn is simply this xn, this whole expression plus wn is going to be there, okay, right? And we solve this difference, xn minus xn cap, this error get minimized. As usual you differentiate, you get a expression and you can solve it, okay. Okay. So now the main drawback of this filter, what we just planned, this is having that filter coefficients in general it is going to be larger. It's going to be, because it's a FIR filter, we need more number of coefficients, right? Will it be possible to design IIR filter to do the same task? Yes, that is possible. That is more interesting and it's important too as far as this random process is considered. The trick what you adapt. I am saying it is a trick because it cannot be solved like what we have solved here. The reason is the matrix for IIR is going to be what? Infinite. We cannot build this infinite. And once you truncate, even though it is a matrix is infinite and I truncate it and I choose only the finite, again it becomes what? FIR, it is no more what? IIR. IIR means IIR, it should be IIR, right? So it should have infinite number of coefficients. The practical way of realizing this IIR, infinite impulse response, is basically we use what? The recursive technique. We have numerator and denominator, that is the way how we realize this filter. So that is the starting point. We are going to design this IIR filter to do this task, right, in Z domain, and hence we can find out how we can realize that filter. That is possible. So design aspects we are going to do it in, instead of time domain approach, we are going for the frequency domain approach. We get Z domain, numerator by denominator format, and then we do that, right? So how that is done? So it's very important. I take the same model, right? Xn is there, and then we have this Wn, and most important is this big block here, that this is a trick what we use. And this is the trick. We have two blocks here, right? And this is Yn as usual. And here we have something like In. I put it as capital I. And here the output is going to be as usual Xn cap. And then we have this Xn and then this En here. So this is the interesting block. Right, and let us say that this is a causal filter. The idea is we introduce one more block in this. This combined together. This block and this block combined together is what we call it as a filter. What we are trying to design, IIR filter. IIR filter transfer function is this. And it should be causal, that is very important, and stable, that is also important, right? The trick is whatever we give as an input to this, we give it as, generate what we call as a noise. In is white noise. This is just the reverse operation what we do it for modeling. In case of modeling, what we do, we give input as a noise and output as what? The signal. So this is what we call it as the spectral factorization, basically. See, I tell you that. So if I have a transfer function h of z and input as white noise with some variance, I used W there. Let me use R. Okay. Sigma R square, and you have the signal Xn. The input is the noise here, Rn is the noise, and output is Xn, right? We already derived the expression. The output spectral density is related with what? The input spectral density, which is constant here, which is sigma square, it is a flat, it is white noise here, it is multiplied with what? H of z into H of 1 by z. So this is called the spectral factorization. Right? So we know this one in frequency domain, basically we already discussed that, isn't it? So if I have output spectral density which is related with what? The input spectral density, like what? Sx of f, h of f, the magnitude square. You know that. Sy of f is simply Sx of f, h of f, the magnitude square. This is written in Z domain. That is the difference. Right? Are you getting this? So now if I do exactly the reverse operation, giving this Xn as an input, and we get the output as what? Rn, and this process is what we call it as, it's an innovation process. We generate the white from the signal. It's just a reverse. So what is going to be that block diagram here? If it is invertible, it is going to be what? 1 by H of z. Right? If it is invertible, this system is simply this 1 by H of z, in which we give that input as Xn and the output is going to be what? Your Rn. Right? And that is what the technique we use here. We use this Yn given to this first block for generating this noise which is having a square, it is white here, which is in further given to the second block to get the xn cap, predicting that. And this Q of Z is the IIR filter having the filter coefficients from Q0, Q2, and it goes up to this infinity, right? It goes like this. So as we have infinite number of coefficients there, it is what we call as IIR, and it's causal, right? It is like that, right? So, but in our case it is not x, right? In our case, let me write it for this particular case, right? So this is I here, and this is IN here, and this is going to be your YN here, right? And this is YN in this, and this is IN for the special case, this one. And this block diagram is having the transfer function of 1 by h of z, put like this, right? Because we want this input to be this yn and output to be what? In, and the transfer function what I have written it is what? 1 by h of z. If I want to know about this IIR filter, what we are considering here, so that is going to be your 1 by h of z into what? Your Q of z. These two combined together is the transfer function of this IIR filter. Once you know this, then you are through, right? So that is what we need. 1 by h of z is very straightforward. The reason is, you know what is that spectral density of this one, right? Sy, I'm sorry, this is Sy. If I know the spectral density of y, Sy of z, the spectral density of y is simply the spectral density of x plus the spectral density of w. Spectral density of w is flat, constant. But if I know what is that spectral density of x, that is very simple. I can take what? Z transformation for the autocorrelation. So if I know the spectral density of x, Sx of z, and this is going to be that constant, right, for white noise, and we can identify what is my spectral density of y, so that is Sy of z. Once I know what is Sy of z, I can represent that Sy of z as what? Sigma I square h of z, h of 1 by z is what we call it as what? The spectral factorization. We can represent, it is possible to represent the spectral density function in this form, because we already know that. That is a relationship we derived. We know that Ry of k is what? Rx of k convolved with what? H of k convolved with h of minus k. We derived that. Isn't it? The same thing is happening. Just if I take the Z transformation, you get this convolution, right? In frequency domain, it is becoming what? This is a product in Z domain. That's what you are getting this. So we represent this Sy of z as the product of these three terms, sigma I squared h of z and h of 1 by z, and I take h of z and put it here. And more important is, when I take this h of z, you have to be very careful that 1 by h of z is stable, because it should be the stable system. You have to choose 1 by h of z, because that is what I want here, not h of z. 1 by h of z should be the stable. It means what? The zeros of h of z should lie within that unit circle. Remember that. I choose h of z such that that zeros should lie within that unit circle to make the system stable. Right? So that is that. So h of z is very straightforward. And I get this 1 by h of z, this is very straightforward. But what is Q of z? So that needs some work. Right? And what is the use of this? What is the use of using this innovation process to get that solution? And see here, we have the input as In, and this is a filter coefficient. We know that Xn cap is simply what? Sigma k equal to 0 to infinity qk I n minus k. This is a relationship where I is that noise, that is the input here, and we get this xn cap as output. And we need to minimize what? Expectation of xn minus xn cap, the whole square, to be minimized. So you get like this. This is xn here, minus this one is k equal to 0 to infinity, qk in minus k whole square, to be minimized, right? The interesting point here is the characteristics of in. The autocorrelation of what? This in is what? Is as it is white, right? R y of 0, I mean, I already written that R I of 0 is going to be sigma I square, and for all other values of, for k not equal to 0, this value is 0. This is the property. This only helps me to solve this problem, right? This is what we are going to use the trick here to solve this problem, right? So we'll see that. So if I differentiate this one with respect to qk, qr, right, qr, some arbitrary qr, right, what does it get? 2 times this into the coefficient of qr, which is nothing but I n minus r, right? There only we are writing these characteristics here, right? So you get this expectation of yn minus sigma k equal to 0 to infinity qk in minus k 2 times here, and then coefficient of qr is minus I n minus r. This is with reference to what? With respect to qr, and I equal to 0. This one is fine, gamma y I of r is fine, but what is right hand side? We get this qk and gamma I of n minus k minus n plus r. So that is r minus k here, and this is the place it is interesting. That is the reason why we are adopting this trick. Why? Because your gamma I is taking the value only for r minus k equal to what? 0. Gamma I of 0 only, it is going to have some value. For all other values of k, it is going to be what? 0. So I have written that, the characteristics, right? This is gamma basically, okay, right? I have that characteristics. So even though we have a sigma in this, the actual value is what? Only when k equal to r. That is the important trick, right? This is r here, and this is going to be sigma I square, and this is gamma y I of r is this, right? Okay. Where? Where? Here. Just a moment. Yeah, this is x here. Yes. Thank you. This is x, right? Xn minus this. Thank you. Right. Good. Right. This from this it is getting continued. Right. I'm sorry. Right. You're right. Good. So you are getting this QR happens to be what? Gamma xi of r divided by what? Sigma I square. What is left out in your expression? The expression what you are having here is simply what? 1 by h of z we already did. What we need is only q of z. Once you get this QR, we can find out what? Q of z, and most important is you have to choose Q of z such that it is what? Causal. The block here, it should be that causal. If you want to take the z transformation for that, so I supposed to take what? QR z power minus r sigma k equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. I have to take all the way from minus infinity to plus infinity. That is going to be your Q of z. But what is really needed for us is, right, the causal part. Right? You will find first Q of z. In fact, I can write it here. This Q of z is the causal part of it. Right? If I take this as a block, and this one you have to choose it as what? The causal part of the transfer function of this. Let me put it as like this. As far as this Q of z is considered, what I really mean by that is, you take this z transformation of this and take the causal part. This is the representation, right? The subscript plus indicate that you are actually taking only the causal part of it. Means you are taking z transformation of this, taking what? Only the causal part. This is constant, sigma I squared I have taken. So you take that z transformation of what? Gamma xi of r and take only that causal part. Then you are through. But now I want to find out what is that z transformation of gamma xi of r, right? So sigma r equal to minus infinity to plus infinity gamma xi of r, right, z power minus r, and this is going to be your once you know this, then you are through. That's it. Right? Once I know the transfer function of this, then I can plug into this to get what? Your Q of z. Then I can simply write the transfer function is, the Wiener filter transfer function is like this: h of z gamma x I of z, the causal part, divided by what? Sigma I square. This is the Wiener, this is that filter what we are considering, right? So I'll tell that name little later about this, and this is what we can call it as this transfer function of the filter what we are considering, IR filter, right? But how to simplify this gamma xi of r? What information you know about this gamma xi of r? Right? So I want to write this one in terms of Q, right? What I do now is, yeah, this is what we need. This is fine here, but we know gamma xi of r can be written as what? Simply, right? So this QR, taking that value for the positive, right? 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. That is what I have written it as what? Q of z. Suppose that if I am taking the z transformation on both sides by taking r equal to what? Minus infinity to plus infinity, right? What I am trying to say here is, sigma r equal to minus infinity plus infinity q r z power minus r, right? If I treat that as q of z, right, let us define in that way. Let, right, q of z is sigma r, okay, minus infinity plus infinity q r z power minus r. If that is the case, in fact what we really need here itself, I can put it as what? Plus in this, and this block diagram itself I put it as what? Plus here. This is just to make it as, you know, not having any confusion. I said already q of z is causal. Instead what I do is I define q of z in this form, which has all the way from minus infinity to plus infinity, not from 0 to infinity. If that is the case, then I rewrite this expression as what? Q of z, the causal part. This q of z, I am writing it as what? Gamma xi of z by what? Sigma I squared, which is already known to us, which is going to be your, right? So this is what we are having, but I want that answer to be in terms of q of z. I mean q of z I want to find out in that another form also, instead of having gamma xi of z, because we know the result with the output xn cap and input is in here, right? How they are related. We know that if this is the case, xn cap, okay, we have written that. Yes, I think we can write this in terms of this. Yeah, I will do that one now quickly. Let me call this 1 by h of z as g of z, and let us consider that coefficient to be what? g0, g1 all the way up to this infinity. It is a causal one, IIR causal filter part, right? g0 and so on, because I know the relationship between in and what? Yn using this block. Let me replace that one with that, then we will see what is that we are getting. Okay, so first we will write the result. Okay, gamma xi of r is simply expectation of xn plus r into what? In here, and this is xn plus r is fine, but this in I am going to write in terms of this y, right? So this is sigma k equal to 0 to infinity, that filter coefficient I use it as gk, right? Y n minus k. Okay, this xn plus r I have taken as it is, but in is what? In is convolution of this yn with this filter coefficients all the way from g0 to infinity. Here I have written in this form. Okay, so now this one is sigma k equal to 0 to infinity gk gamma x of xy of gamma xy of, this is n plus r minus n plus k, so it is r plus k, right? So now I want to take z transformation for this, right? So taking z transformation, gamma xi of z is sigma, I already used k here, so I use it as u equal to minus infinity plus infinity sigma k equal to, and this is a function of what? This is r only, no? R equal to minus infinity plus infinity, right? 0 to infinity here, gk gamma xy of r plus k, because it needs to be the function of r and then z power minus r. So is a transform, right? Now what I do is I just sigma, I substitute r plus k as u, right, and this limit is going to be what? U equal to again minus infinity plus infinity, it is not changing. So it is u equal to minus infinity plus infinity, it is not changing now. Sigma k equal to 0 to infinity, that I am not changing, right, and this coefficient gk is there, and gamma xy of u is there, and this is z power minus, and that is what? R plus k is u, right, R plus k is u, so R plus k is u, so R is what? U minus k, so it is z power minus u, z power k here, right. So you can write this one as 2 sigma here, one is u equal to minus infinity plus infinity, gamma xy of u, z power minus u is one term, the another term is k equal to 0 to infinity gk, z power k is that another term. So you get this as what? Gamma xy of z, and then this is g of 1 by z, or right, z power minus 1, right, so that is 1 by z power minus 1 or 1 by z, and that is what you get. But we know g of z and h of z, how they are related. I write it as gamma xy of z divided by what? H of z inverse. So this is what I want here. I want to replace this one. Now the final expression is this h of z, and this sigma square I take outside, and we have a bracket here, and this is gamma xy of z by what? H of, yes, and of course this plus the causal. So this is the transfer function for this IIR filter. The problem statement is the same. You have xn, you have wn, we have that additive noise yn, and you need to estimate xn, that is the same thing, right? But this case we wanted that filter coefficients to be finite, realized by what? The numerator and denominator format, right, zeros and poles format, right. The main trick here is this innovation process. What we do is we get a signal which is of, this random process in, which is of white. That is a trick, because we are doing this because we know the characteristics of in. That is the interesting point. White, basically we are going to use the property of what? That white. Gamma I of 0 is sigma square. For all other values of k, gamma I of k, it is going to be what? 0. That is the heart here, that is the trick. By using that property, we are able to get the final transfer function in the form of what? Numerator and denominator is in the form of a IIR structure, right. So now it is very straightforward. If I know this spectral density, we know it starts with your sigma I square h of z, that is very straightforward. If I know the spectral density of sy of z, because sy of z is nothing but what? Sigma I square h of z into h of 1 by z, job over. Once you know this h of z, these things are known, and this is gamma xy of z. To know about it, we need to know the spectral density of x and y. They are related like this only. If you expand it, the autocorrelation is related with what? X and y. So I can use it for finding out this spectral density. So I can substitute here, and I can find out this causal part, and I can find out what is that transfer function. We're getting this. But what is more important here is, as we are doing these things in what? Z domain, in case of FIR there is no compulsion that you should have a model for the speech signal, because the final matrix itself you have what? This autocorrelation. You see that, isn't it? The final, for finding out these filter coefficients, the matrix consisting of what? The autocorrelation values. So I can treat the speech signal as what? Ergodic, I can directly compute the autocorrelation, I can fill it in that, and I can solve it. Even though I explained, by modeling that, it is not compulsory there. It is not compulsory in case of FAR. If I assume it is ergodic, we need not model them. We can directly get an autocorrelation, I can substitute and I can solve it. But in case of IIR, it is compulsory that you need to model it, because we are not actually need, right, the autocorrelation. Instead, we need the spectral density of autocorrelation. Either you compute or estimate this autocorrelation, treating it as ergodic, and find out the Z transformation for it, and I substitute it here. That is not going to look good for simplification. Instead, if you model them, like what I told, right, AR modeling, speech signal itself you can model it with input as noise and output as speech. Remember that I am talking about three noise signal, right? One is WN here. This is the actual noise. The actual noise is what? This WN, right? And you have one more IN here. This is the intermediate step by using this innovation process, giving us an input as a signal and output as what? IN. Is not that actual noise, right? IN. And one more noise which we use is a error signal as an input to what? The AR modeling for generating XN. I don't know what notation I give. I think I have given VN. That is another one. That is the model for generating the speech signal. We must know the variance of sigma, Vn, that is sigma V square, we must know, sigma W square we must know, and sigma I square is also known to, it must be known to us. But sigma W square is not in your control. All other things, it's a model. You are doing this model, right? So quick understanding about this IIR filter, what we really do. You are given only this Y, Sy of Z. IN is actually that, Yn is actually the signal plus the noise. You need the spectral density. You find out the spectral density just by adding the spectral density of X plus sigma W square, because noise is flat. But this spectral density, right, demands autocorrelation, that you can get it from AR modeling, right? By using this AR modeling, you can find out the spectral density of this. How will you find out? Input is the noise sigma V square, output is Xn. How this output spectral density is related to this? That's what I said, that is the simplest way. The output spectral density is simply what? Sigma V square into the model, what we get. We already have a model of AR, right? If that model is, I don't know, I don't want to use the term because I used H of Z here, but you have a AR model as a function of Z. Input is what? Sigma V square. We have a model, isn't it? Let us call that as A of Z, right? Input is sigma V square, A of Z into A of 1 by Z. That is going to be the spectral density of the output. S X of Z. Very straightforward. If I am modeling, I get A of Z directly. I don't want to treat it as ergodic, and I need not compute what? The autocorrelation, all those things, all the stuff. I can directly model them as what? A of Z. Once that is, so of course for that modeling we need autocorrelation, for that we need to anyhow compute it. There is no doubt in it. But the way how we do here is, the input is the noise, sigma V square, and this block is what? A of Z, and the output spectral density is simply sigma V square into what? A of Z into A of 1 by Z. You got the spectral density Sx of Z. Once you know this Sx of Z, that is simply added with what? Sigma W square to get what? Sy of Z. Once you know Sy of Z, I can again do spectral factorization representing as what? Sigma I square into G of Z into G of, h of z into h of 1 by z. Then I take that h of z part alone such that 1 by h of z is stable, not h of z is stable, right? 1 by h of z is stable and causal, and that one I take it as the first block. H of z is known now. Then we need to find out this gamma xy of z. Gamma xy of z can be written in terms of the spectral density of what? X and y. Individually we know, and I can substitute there. Once I substitute here, then I can find out this causal part. Right? So it's very simple. I think I have given an expression for the autocorrelation of gamma xy of k. What is that? You see that? Gamma xy of k is what? I hope it is there. It is gamma x of k plus the noise, isn't it? You see that? What is gamma xy of k? For finding out this spectral density, we need the autocorrelation gamma xy of k, which is expectation of xn plus k yn. And yn is what? Yn is xn plus wn. So you get two terms. One is gamma x of k. Is it just gamma x of k? So which we already know. Right? So I can even rewrite this expression as what? Gamma x of z. Provided x and w are independent and mean of w is 0. If that is the case, I can simply write in terms of gamma x y, I can simply write it as what? Gamma x itself. So that's what the problem is. We can design this filter. This is very popular filter. Is what we call it as Wiener filter. Right? So this is a starting point for any other adaptive filters. Right? So this is the statistical way how we get this filter coefficients. It's not like a classical filter what we design, no, the low pass, band pass, like that. It is designed statistically. We know the characteristics of the noise, only in terms of statistical information, right? So with that, both signal as well as noise, we know the characteristics of the signal in the form of a statistical information like autocorrelation, spectral density, like that. But in other cases, we know, for example, if I want to notch filter, for example, right? We know what frequency to be removed. That is a different way of design, right? So if I know, see, if I want to have a cutoff with some frequency, low pass filter, that is a different thing. But here it is not like that. We are designing a filter statistically, right? This is, I thought of giving that flavor of right, one more right case study on the random process. Okay, with that we'll stop here, continue the thing in the next class.